We'd like to welcome Wyndham Clark into the Media Center here at the Genesis Invitational. The last time you were in LA, you had a pretty incredible experience. Can you talk a little bit about how your life has changed since the US Open, winning your first major?
It's changed a lot. This is my first time back in LA, so it feels really good to be back. I did a nice thing last night at LACC with USGA. We did a little fireside chat, kind of reminiscing on all the shots, and you know, it was just amazing to be back there. That was my first time, so it was kind of emotional. It was great, and it reminded me where I was then and where I am now, and how much my life has changed. Played in Ryder Cup, won another tournament at Pebble Beach, and now I'm a top 10 player in the world. So a lot has changed, and yeah, I'm just excited to be here and compete again this week.
You're making your 5th appearance at the Genesis Invitational. Can you talk a little bit about what you like about the course as well as the tournament in a whole?
Yeah, this is, I mean, I think anyone says this, definitely one of my favorite courses of the year, if not, you know, the favorite for me. It's just such a fun week being here in LA at such an iconic golf course that is so challenging and has really stood the test of time. We don't have that thick of rough. They haven't really changed any tees in the 6 years I've been coming here, or 5-6 years, and yet the winner always seems to be right around 14, 15 under, and it's always a great test of golf. So it's one of my favorite weeks. I love it. When the weather's good, there's nothing better than playing 4 days at Riv.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up for questions. Please raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll get you a microphone. We'll start right here with Cameron.
Hey, Wyndham. I know you have like a different level of belief as you continue to sort of rise up the rankings and so forth, but do you surprise yourself when you shoot a 60, and is that part of the fun of your life now, is just kind of surprising yourself in a good way, like, wow, I didn't know that was out there, I didn't know that was in me?
Yeah, I mean, I think any golfer thinks they should shoot 18 under every round, and it doesn't work out, but you're spot on. I surprise myself, you know, almost every round where I'm nervous on a certain shot and I pull it off, and I'm excited and go, wow, you know, I'm impressed and surprised that I did that. You know, 60 at a place like Pebble definitely was something that you dream about and visualize at night. Something like that would happen, and to go out there and actually do it is another thing, and to live in that it was amazing. It truly was a super special day, and I honestly, it almost felt like a dream, because I didn't even really think about where I was as far as score the whole round until I got to hole 18, and then that's when I realized that I missed a putt on 16 and 17 and would have been at 12 under going into 18 birding to shoot 59, and that was the first time I thought about score. So it was one of those things where people say you're a blackout, and you were just, it was like a dream. It's pretty awesome.
Go right up here.
Hey, Wyndham, what elements of this course here at Riviera do you find to be most challenging, and are there any parts of it that you feel like it suits your game particularly?
Yeah, Riv is, I think it requires so much precision into the greens. It's typically very firm, and there's a lot of slope on the greens, and so you have to be very precise with distances and then also your misses. There's definitely some spots to where if you miss, you know, left or right of the hole, you almost can't get up and down, and so you have to be, you just have to be super precise. And then the greens are very sloped. You know, we come over here in the West Coast, similar to Pebble and Torrey. There's so much slope with Poana, and you're 10 feet out and you're playing a foot of break. That doesn't happen that often on tour. So I think those are the two main challenges out here, and I think it feeds into my game, to be honest. I feel like I'm really good around the greens, so if you are going to miss some greens around here, and I feel like I can get them up and down. And then I've always excelled on Poana greens growing up in Colorado, where at Cherry Hills, where they had similar greens like they do here. And so I'm used to playing way away from the hole and bending it in. So I really like this place. You know, I think it also favors someone that hits it far. And, you know, I've had some success here. I had a top 10 and I think a top 20 here earlier in my career, but I felt like I played great that week and feel like I can really do well here.
Tiger was just up here earlier, and the totals on his career are kind of insane, with 82 wins and 15 majors. I have heard one or two other players throw out numbers that, like, oh, I believe X number of majors is possible for me. Do you think that way, or do you just sort of take it as it comes and hope that you rack up a lot of W's?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about the total number of wins or any of that. Like I've said in previous talks, that I really try not to think about winning. I think when I first got on tour, that's all I thought about, and I didn't win. And now I try to not think about winning, and I'm winning. So I'm going to try to keep that trend going.
Go ahead.
Wyndham, you've talked about how great that pairing was with Ricky at the U.S. Open. This week you've got Rory and Max, and to us on the outside, that looks like a group of guys who like to talk and good-natured, and it's going to be fun for you. I'm assuming that's the case in your perspective when you see this. And have you played much with Rory, and have you ever talked to him about the U.S. Open last year?
Yeah, I was talking about it with my caddy John. I don't think I've played a stroke play round with Rory. I played with him at the Ryder Cup. I've played practice rounds with Rory quite a bit, but never a stroke play round. So this, I think, I can't, I mean, we couldn't think of one. I think this will be the first time that we play stroke play together, so I'm excited. I always like playing with the best players, and I like to somewhat compare my game to theirs and see where they're at and go, okay, yeah, I feel like my game's similar to his, or, you know what, I need to get better in these areas and work on X, Y, and Z. So I'm really looking forward to it. You know, and Max being a really good friend, and his caddy Joe, good friends with my caddy and myself. I think it's going to be a super fun pairing, and you know, he got Mr. LA and Max, and so he's going to have a huge crowd, and then you got Rory. So I'm just hoping I can go out there and play the best golf I can and enjoy myself.
And what was the thing that got you emotional when you went back to LA?
I just think driving through the gates instantly, you know, you have flashbacks of driving in on every day that I did that week, and then we had this dinner kind of in their private dining hall, and it was overlooking 18 green, and I'm just looking at it the entire time, and all I could think about was what happened on 18. So, you know, that was pretty emotional, and then they gave me an amazing gift, which was my caddy John and I about to embrace each other on 18 green. It's a beautiful painting. And the clubhouse in the background, and that was in itself just such a nice gift. And then I remember, you know, the things he said to me and what I was feeling and the emotions I felt and everything with that. So I did everything I could to not shed a tear when they gave that to me. So it was a pretty nice moment.
Go right over here.
Wyndham, you seem to be aware of where you rank within the game. You try to size yourself up, like you said, against Rory and other top players. I'm curious, you're ranked 6th in the world. Is there a place where you think specifically there is more growth for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to put a limit to myself. I would love to try to get to #1 player in the world. I don't know when that's going to happen, if it'll happen, but I do know if I continue to do the things that make me successful, I think there's a chance that could happen. So I'm just going to continue to focus on, you know, my process, which is focus on that mental game, working hard in the gym and working hard on the range, and then hoping that results in good results, which ultimately gets me to where I want to be in the world.
But in terms of specifics that you are, I guess, pleased with versus unpleased with at the moment, like, is there a specific thing that you look to that will push you to that #1 player in the world spot?
I think consistency. The one thing I see, you know, I look at like Scotty Scheffler right now. I'm you played with him last week at Waste Management. I'm just amazed at how consistent he is and how good of a ball striker, and how every week he always seems to be in the hunt. And that's something that I think I need to get better at. I think I do it in spurts, and I've obviously had some success in winning, but I think there's some weeks that I go and finish 30th or 40th, and it was kind of, it just doesn't seem yeah, I just don't think the consistency's there. So that's something that I'm hoping in the next year or two that I can get to that level where every week I'm kind of on the front page of the leaderboard.
Right here.
Is your putter you used in victory 2 weeks ago your Valentine, or do you have 9 putters with you today?
Yeah, that was definitely a nice Valentine gift. I do not have 9 putters. I brought 1 putter this week. I'm hoping I never have to do that again. I think I found a little something at Pebble, which was getting rid of the top line on the putter. And so I have no line on my putter, and I think that's really helped me, and I'm hoping that that's kind of the thing that's been missing the last few years.
And I'll just wrap it up with one more question. Netflix title announcements came out today. I have to ask you, have you seen your episode yet?
I still have not seen my episode. I don't know if I'll watch it. I know it's bad, but it's weird watching yourself on TV, and I don't know. I lived it, and so I don't know if I really want to watch it. And I know there's some emotional parts in my episode, or at least from what I hear, and I don't know. It's just weird watching yourself. So I watch other people's for sure, and then I'll skip over mine.
Fair. Thank you very much, Wyndham.
Thanks, guys.